Awareness, that's the word nobody talks about because it doesn't sell. It doesn't give you instant gratification. It doesn't promise a quick dopamine hit or a six-figure lifestyle in 30 days. But awareness is the one thing that separates the people who win from the people who stay stuck their whole lives. The truth is, we live in a world where most people are blind not because they can't see, but because they choose not to. They see the signs, they feel something's wrong, but they ignore it because facing the truth means taking responsibility. And responsibility is heavy. Awareness is painful. That's why so few people ever develop it. But the moment you become aware, really aware, everything changes. You start to see how much of your life has been controlled without your consent. You see how much of what you've been taught is designed to keep you small, compliant, and dependent. Society doesn't reward awareness, it punishes it. It calls you paranoid, negative, or a conspiracy theorist, just because you question what everyone else blindly follows. But if everyone around you is asleep, being awake will always make you look crazy. And here's the thing, awareness is not about being smarter. It's about being awake enough to notice, to question, to stop running on autopilot. Most people wake up, check their phone, go to work, come home, scroll again, and call that living. They've traded awareness for distraction, purpose for comfort. But comfort is the most dangerous drug in the world because it convinces you that everything's fine while your potential quietly dies. The people who win in the next era won't be the strongest or the richest or even the most talented. They'll be the ones who saw it coming, the ones who paid attention when others looked away, the ones who used awareness as their weapon in a world built on lies. Because make no mistake, the system thrives on your ignorance. It needs you unaware. It needs you distracted. It needs you too tired from surviving to ever start questioning. That's how it wins. Every ad you see, every notification you get, every algorithm you interact with, it's designed to keep you in a loop, to make you predictable, programmable, and dependent, but awareness breaks the loop. The moment you step outside of it, you start to see the game for what it is, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. You start making different moves. You stop chasing trends and start building foundations. You stop asking for permission and start creating your own lane. That's the power of awareness. It's the first step toward freedom. Look around, the world is changing faster than ever. Artificial intelligence, digital currencies, collapsing economies, everything is shifting. And yet, most people are still living like it's 2005, trusting institutions that are one step away from crumbling. They think awareness means reading headlines or watching YouTube news clips. No, awareness means understanding what those headlines mean for you. It means knowing how to position yourself before the wave hits. The ones who are aware right now aren't waiting for permission. They're already preparing. They're investing, building, learning skills, collecting assets. They're not reacting, they're anticipating. The unaware will call it luck. They always do. But luck is just awareness meeting preparation. When the system cracks, the aware don't panic, they pivot. When opportunities appear, they don't hesitate, they act. Because they've been watching, not sleeping. They've been planning, not scrolling. And that's the difference. Awareness also means self-awareness. You can't see the truth outside of you until you start facing the truth inside of you. The biggest illusion isn't the financial system, it's the stories you tell yourself. I'll start tomorrow. I'm not ready. It's not the right time. Those lies are more dangerous than any government manipulation because they keep you locked in place. Awareness begins when you stop lying to yourself. When you look in the mirror and admit, I could be more, I should be more, and I'm the only one stopping me. That's when life starts to shift. Most people avoid this because awareness forces you to let go of comfort. It forces you to question your friends, your job, your habits, even your identity. You start realizing how much of who you are was chosen for you, not by you. And that's terrifying for some people, but for the aware, that realization is liberating, because once you see the cage, you can start building the key. Awareness isn't about knowing everything, it's about seeing clearly. When you're aware, you stop chasing noise, you stop reacting to every piece of information, you start filtering what matters, you become calm in chaos. While everyone else gets emotional, you stay strategic. That's why the aware win, because while others are distracted by fear, the aware are focused on action. Every major turning point in history has rewarded those who were awake before the rest. The investors who saw the internet coming. The creators who saw the power of attention before it became currency. The thinkers who saw value where others saw risk. That's what awareness does, it gives you foresight. It lets you move while others wait. And that's exactly what's about to happen again. As the old system collapses, a new one is forming, one that rewards clarity, independence, and truth, but only the aware will see it. Only the aware will recognize silver, gold, and real assets as lifeboats in a sinking ship. Only the aware will understand that skills are the new currency, that mindset is the new wealth, that awareness itself is the ultimate leverage. The ones who refuse to see, who keep trusting the same systems that failed them, will be left behind. They'll look back in a few years and call it bad luck or a crazy time, but deep down they'll know they just weren't paying attention. So here's the choice: stay blind or open your eyes, keep believing in comfort or start believing in truth. Awareness won't make life easier, but it will make you stronger. It will strip away illusion until only what's real remains, and that's all you'll ever need to win clarity. Because when the world gets noisy, when fear takes over, and when everything starts collapsing, the aware don't run. They rise, they adapt, they lead. They win not because they're special, but because they saw, and that's the truth. Only the aware will win, not someday, not eventually, but right now in this storm, in this shift, in this moment. Awareness is the currency of the future, and if you can master it, you'll never need to chase anything again, because you'll already be ahead quietly, confidently, awake. Independence, a word that used to mean something. Today, people throw it around like a slogan, but almost nobody truly lives it. Because real independence isn't about money in your bank account or followers on your social media, it's about not being owned. Not by a job, not by a system, not by fear. And right now, the world is standing at the edge of something powerful, a rebirth. A return to that raw, unfiltered version of freedom that can't be bought, only built. For too long, people have been programmed to trade independence for convenience, to outsource their thinking to institutions, their safety to governments, their identity to brands. They've been told that following the system is the safest path, but the truth is, it's the most dangerous one. Because when you give up control of your choices, your money, your time, you've already given up your life. The system doesn't take it from you by force. It convinces you to hand it over willingly. That's the trap. But something is changing. You can feel it. A quiet revolution is happening under the surface. People are waking up and realizing that depending on the system is a dead end. The economy can crash, currencies can fall, technology can glitch, but your independence, if it's real, can't be taken from you. That's the shift happening right now. It's not just financial, it's mental. Spiritual, human, it's the rebirth of people who are done being told how to live. Every great collapse in history gives birth to something new, and this time, it's the individual. The one who takes responsibility, who learns, who adapts, who builds from the ground up. This era we're stepping into won't belong to corporations or governments. It'll belong to creators, builders, thinkers, and warriors who decided they'd rather die on their feet than live on their knees. Independence isn't comfortable, it's not polished or perfect, it's messy, it's risky, but it's real. That's why silver matters, not just as a metal, but as a metaphor. It represents truth, solid, tangible, untouchable by manipulation. The rise of silver is the rise of independence itself, because when people start choosing what's real over what's convenient, the system loses its grip. When people store their wealth in something they can hold, not in digits on a screen, they reclaim their power. It's a quiet rebellion, but make no mistake, it's the most powerful one there is. For decades we were told to trust the system, trust the banks, trust the experts, trust the same people who profit from your ignorance. But that trust is dead, and in its place grows a hunger for control, for truth, for autonomy. The new generation isn't asking for freedom, they're taking it back. They're building online businesses, learning new skills, mastering finance, investing in real assets, refusing to let anyone else dictate their worth. That's independence, and it's spreading. This rebirth isn't just about money. It's about mindset. It's about understanding that nobody is coming to save you and realizing that's the most liberating truth of all. Because once you accept that, you stop waiting, you stop blaming. You start building, you start becoming the kind of person who doesn't need the system to survive because you've built your own. That's what separates the free from the trapped. The dependent wait, the independent create. But here's the hard part. Independence requires sacrifice. It means walking away from comfort. It means doing the things most people won't do so you can live the way most people never will. It means being misunderstood, judged, doubted because independence threatens people who have settled for safety. They'll call you arrogant, selfish, or unrealistic, but deep down, they're just scared that your freedom is proof of their submission. True independence is built in silence. It's built when nobody's watching, when you're putting in the hours, learning, saving, investing, creating while everyone else is distracted by noise. It's not glamorous, it's gritty. But when it finally shows, when the world sees what you've become, they'll call it overnight success. They'll never understand the years of quiet rebellion that led to it. We're entering a time when that kind of independence will matter more than ever. The institutions that people once trusted are breaking apart. The safety nets are fraying, the illusion of stability is fading, and as the old world burns, a new one is rising, one where the only real power is self-reliance. The ones who will thrive aren't the ones with the most resources, they're the ones with the most resilience. The ones who know how to think, how to adapt, how to build, how to survive without permission. The rebirth of independence is not about isolation, it's not about rejecting society, it's about reclaiming agency, the ability to choose how you live, how you earn, how you grow. It's about connection through strength, not dependence through weakness. It's about forming networks of strong, free individuals who lift each other up because they don't need to pull anyone down. It's about evolving beyond survival into creation. And here's the truth: independence starts with awareness but ends with action. You can know the system's broken all you want, but if you're not doing anything about it, you're still part of it. Independence isn't a mindset you read about, it's something you practice every day. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, ownership over blame, truth over convenience, you're rebirthing it within yourself. You're becoming the kind of person no crisis can control. When people talk about the new world, they imagine chaos, uncertainty, fear. But what if that chaos is the best thing that could happen? What if it's not the end, but the beginning? What if it's the universe's way of forcing people to wake up, to stand up, to finally stop depending on systems that were never built for them in the first place? That's what this is: not collapse, but correction, not destruction, but transformation. August 4, 2025 won't just be a turning point for silver, it'll be a turning point for people. It'll mark the shift from dependence to independence, from illusion to truth, from weakness to strength. And when that day comes, those who have been preparing, learning, and freeing themselves from the system will look around and realize something powerful. They don't need permission anymore. They don't need validation. They don't need saving. They are their own foundation, because the real wealth isn't measured in currency. It's measured in control, in peace, in knowing that no matter what happens, you own yourself fully, unapologetically, completely. That's independence, and that's what's being reborn right now. The question is, will you be part of it? Or will you be owned by the old world that's dying? Because the choice is already here. The system is cracking, awareness is spreading, and independence is rising from the ashes. This is your chance to rebuild not just your finances, but your freedom. The rebirth isn't coming, it's happening, and the only ones who will thrive are the ones who claim it now, not tomorrow, not someday now. Most people walk through life asleep. They think they're awake because their eyes are open, but inside they're unconscious. They move, they talk, they work, but they don't think, they react, they follow. They consume. The system doesn't need them awake, it needs them obedient, and it's working perfectly. Because the more distracted they are, the more predictable they become. And that's exactly how the system wins, by keeping you numb, entertained, and unaware that you're being controlled. But awareness changes everything. Awareness is the point where the game flips. It's when you stop being the pawn and start playing like the king. Awareness isn't just knowing the truth, it's feeling it. It's seeing the patterns for what they are. It's realizing that everything you were taught, school, media, politics, wasn't designed to empower you. It was designed to shape you, to box you in, to make you a gear in someone else's machine. The moment you become aware of that, you can't go back. The world looks different. Every headline, every commercial, every word people say, you start seeing the manipulation behind it. You notice how everything is engineered to keep you passive. And you realize that the majority of people around you aren't even choosing their own lives, they're living scripts that were written for them. The aware don't live like that, they question everything. They study patterns, they see through the noise, they understand that the world runs on attention, not truth, and they stop giving theirs away. Because the moment you control where your attention goes, you start controlling your destiny. That's what awareness really is, control, the ability to direct your focus where it matters, not where you're told. Right now, most people are drowning in information but starving for wisdom. They scroll through news feeds, argue about things that don't matter, and never ask the real question: who benefits from my distraction? The answer is always the same: not you. Awareness demands you look beyond the surface. It demands you stop reacting and start observing. It forces you to slow down, to listen, to notice the small shifts before they become earthquakes. And that's where the winners are made. The ones who are aware don't wait for permission. They move before everyone else sees the opportunity. They adapt before the masses even realize there's a change, because awareness gives you foresight, the power to see the wave before it hits. The unaware call it luck. But it's not luck, it's preparation meeting observation. The world is entering a new era. The system is cracking, economies are shifting, currencies are losing trust. You can feel the tension in the air. And yet, most people are still chasing distractions: Netflix, celebrity drama, politics, gossip, anything to keep their minds numb. The aware, though, are quietly building. They're learning new skills, investing in assets that hold real value, studying psychology, finance, human behavior. They're preparing for what's next while everyone else sleeps. That's why they'll win. Awareness isn't about paranoia, it's about clarity. It's not about living in fear. It's about seeing reality without filters. When you're aware, you stop being emotional every time something goes wrong. You stop blaming, stop complaining. You start asking, what's the opportunity here? Because every crisis creates two kinds of people: the victims and the visionaries. The unaware panic, the aware pivot, the unaware react, the aware respond. That's the difference between losing everything and building everything. Awareness also begins within. You can't see the truth out there if you can't face the truth in here. Most people are so afraid of being alone because silence exposes them. It forces them to confront their weaknesses, their insecurities, their lack of direction. But that's exactly where awareness is born: in stillness. When you stop distracting yourself and sit with your own thoughts, that's when you begin to understand who you really are and what's really holding you back. The system has taught you to fear awareness because awareness kills control. Aware people can't be manipulated. They don't fall for trends. They don't outsource their thinking. That's dangerous to any structure built on obedience. That's why society rewards distraction and punishes depth. That's why scrolling feels easy, but self-reflection feels uncomfortable. But if you want to win in this next chapter of humanity, you have to go through that discomfort. You have to choose consciousness over convenience. Being aware doesn't mean you know everything, it means you're willing to learn. It means you stop assuming and start understanding. It means you stop living from emotion and start living from strategy. You stop being driven by fear and start being guided by truth. Awareness makes you unshakable, because once you see the game, you stop being played by it. The world belongs to the aware, it always has. Every revolution, every innovation, every shift in power started because a small group of people saw what others couldn't. They saw beyond the illusion, they acted before the rest, and that's what's happening again right now. A global awakening, quiet, subtle, but unstoppable. The aware are preparing, positioning, and protecting themselves. The unaware will wake up one morning and wonder how everything changed overnight. But it didn't happen overnight, it happened gradually while they weren't looking. And the truth is, awareness is free, but it's not cheap. It costs you your comfort, your ignorance, your illusions. It demands effort, it demands curiosity, it demands courage, because once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. You'll never be able to look at life the same way again. You'll see through people's motives, through the system's lies, through your own excuses. And that's both liberating and terrifying, but that's the price of freedom. Awareness. It's the foundation of every great empire, every true leader, every real success. When you know what's real, you stop wasting time chasing what's fake. You start investing in truth and skills, in assets, in self-reliance. You stop playing by their rules and start writing your own. And when the world starts shifting, and it will, the unaware will panic, but the aware will move with precision. They'll adapt faster, think clearer, and rise higher, because awareness is the ultimate advantage. It's the edge that money can't buy, and ignorance can't survive. So the question isn't whether change is coming, it's whether you'll see it before it arrives. Because the future doesn't belong to the lucky or the privileged. It belongs to the aware, the ones who choose to wake up while everyone else sleeps, the ones who stop reacting and start thinking, the ones who stop surviving and start creating. In this new era, awareness will be the new currency, and those who have it will never be broke again.